every time the snow is falling down and it is cold outside. We gather around the fireplace and no one cares about yesterday. My favorite holiday, it means so much more than words can say. And I claim that Christmas is a magic day. Sometimes I tend to forget what glory this holiday represents, but it's fair to say that Christmas is a magic day. This year I'll think about how I'm so lucky to have a place that I can come home to. Yes, I am on my way.
Yes, people, welcome back to Let's Talk Premier League. We're here for another sort of news thing. I want to talk about Lucas Digne to Chelsea at some point in the near future, because obviously with Ben Chilwell out for the rest of the season, I feel that could be quite an interesting topic to talk about. But Manchester United is just a club that keeps on giving in terms of shit shows and in terms of, well, news. That club, I don't think could have one quiet day. I don't think Manchester United have it in them to have a quiet day in the media. It's always going to be there's going to be rumours, there's going to be everything going around, and that is just United. As I said, I want to talk about Lucas Digne at some point in the near future. Maybe we can get onto that tomorrow or something, but in terms of this one, we've got to talk about Manchester United. As Lanzi, just lovely comment here, says Bowen's on fire and he's shagging Danny Dyer. That's absolutely brilliant. That is fantastic. But we need to talk about United. As I say, I want to talk about Lucas Digne. I want to talk about other things and not just United. But, sometimes when shit happens, you have to talk about it. And the fact that player quotes are coming out so soon into the Rangnick era is going to have confirmed almost everything that almost all of us thought about this set of players, which is their nose is well out of joint right now. They are fuming. They're not happy. They are not happy bunnies for sure. The United players are not happy bunnies at all. Well, some of them. I'm sure some are actually fine with Rangnick. Some will not be. But the fact that we're getting these quotes out suggests to me that, that leak that was happening and towards the end of Ollie, and everyone was like, it's just because of Ollie. Once you get rid of Ollie, it will slow down. There'll be no more leaks. I call bullshit. And, well, bullshit has been called. Lancy says clear of Rashford and Scamjo. But there have been a lot of quotes. But there's been a lot of interesting things. We're going to talk about what Ralf has sort of said in the press conference. And we're going to dive into really everything that has sort of happened in the last couple of days, because there's been an awful lot. So the first quote is, Eric Bailly has flown back from the Ivory Coast to be a part of United's preparations for the game against Burnley. He was granted permission to fly back to prepare for AFCON, but has been recalled. Now, I don't know if he had actually left the country at the time of being asked to come back to Manchester, because, it's quite a lot to fly to Africa and then back, but maybe he did. But apparently he's a little miffed, and I understand that. I do. I think Ahmad is also, well, he's definitely with United at the moment, because he was in pictures, as you'll see. We actually tweeted out a picture of Mason Greenwood with Ahmad, with just a quote saying, if you chuck Sancho and Cavani of them two, do United get better? And you could argue, yes, they would. But that we'll talk about that in a moment. But Eric Bailly's got a great opportunity if he can play tomorrow. Now, obviously, I know that he's going to AFCON. That can't change anything. But if he does leave a good performance, let's say he starts tomorrow with Varane or with Phil Jones or Harry Maguire. I just thought I'd chuck Phil Jones in there because, talented boy. But if he leaves a good performance, and if the United centre-backs still don't know how to defend by the time he comes back from AFCON. Rangnick might look at an Eric Bailly and go, okay, well, let's give him a go. And he might look at him in AFCON and be like, how's he performed? If he performs well, he may go, do you know what, Harry Maguire? I've had enough of your shit. Sit on the bench or whatever. Like, however he does this. So it could be an interesting one in terms of Eric Bailly. If he does start tomorrow, and leaves, he normally comes in and has a good performance for a one-off game. We saw it against Chelsea. We've seen it multiple times. So Eric Bailly could really come in, leave an impression, then go. And maybe that will be what Ralf misses. He may look at that performance and go, boy, bring back Eric. And then Eric has got something at the club left. So Eric Bailly's got an important job tomorrow if he does start. That's not the only thing. The quotes are mad. This next one, we'll leave the 5 p.m. one for a minute because that one is just fucking hilarious. The mood at Carrington is said to be very low, and concerns over dressing room cliques have not been helped by the upgrade to the canteen that has seen 6 4-seater booths installed. Now, I will say one thing. If you have a problem already with cliques, which we know there are, there's cliques within that United squad. I've jotted down some, the English lot. So you probably got Maguire, Shaw, McTominay, sort of in a clique together. God knows who else should. Phil Jones probably in that clique as well, isn't he? Wan-Bissaka probably as well. You chuck in the English lot in a clique. I've put down Telles, Bruno, Fred. You could probably put De Gea in there, probably Mata, probably Matic. That's possibly one. I don't know if Ronaldo's in one. I doubt Ronaldo's got one. He's probably one with Dallo, isn't he? And then I've sort of just got Greenwood and Ahmad, where you could probably chuck in Ilanga, Shotire, if that is a clique or if that's just who they feel comfortable socialising with. Cavani, fuck knows where. Cavani goes where Matic goes, I think, because of the language barrier. Although I feel Cavani could happily sit with Greenwood and Ahmed, or he could sit with Maguire and just call him a knobhead. One or two. So if you've got an issue with clicks already, what the hell are you doing installing booths? Just literally have the canteen open, sit them on a basic table and chair, right? Maybe not the basic chair because you do need to look after them because they're mega stars. Phil Jones and Harry Maguire are mega stars. But if you've got a problem with clicks, why the fuck are you putting booths in there? I mean, way to make the clicks go even better. So I do think that's probably a poor effort from United. I get upgrading the canteen, obviously, is a needed necessity. But do you really think putting in booths, is that really going to help the situation of team harmony, of, uniting a team together? No, it probably won't. But is that enough? Should that be enough to make these cliques even bigger? Well, no, you are grown adults, right? We're not talking about the under-18s who have probably got better team cohesion than the fucking first team. You are grown. You are grown adults. You should be able to sit with people who you may not get on with, and deal with it. I mean, I've had it in work way before. Back when I was 18, I went into work and there was just someone who normally I just wanted to punch in the face. Did I do it? No, I didn't. I got on with it because at the end of the day, that's what being an adult is about. And I just feel that United baby their players a little too much. And you could see that probably of the Oli regime where they're like, oh, you can't say that, or you can't do that, or you can't be nasty to them. They've been babied, and now you need to unbaby the shit out of these boys because they really do need to grow up. And they need to probably grow up quite quickly because, you play for Manchester United. You're not playing for fucking Truro City. And even then, I still think they'll have better team cohesion. So, I think United really need to sort this shit out. And I didn't want to go in on Harry Maguire too much, but he is the target because he is the captain. I don't think this shit happens with a proper leader. I'll take you back. Do you think this shit happens with Roy Keane as captain? Does that fuck? Right? does any of this get out with Roy Keane as captain? Does it fuck? Because, you know, Roy Keane would have kicked you in the head. He would have absolutely battered the living shit out of you. So I think if we think about that, I think, you know, it really is an absolute madness. And it doesn't make sense. It really doesn't make sense. Kenny says these players are fucking babies. They are. Big up to Tyler. This stuff wouldn't have happened under Moyes at United. Well, it would have, because, you know, ultimately he would have ended up the same as Jose, the same as Ollie. I don't know if they'll have time to throw Rangnick under a bus, because he'll probably sell them, because I think he has that authority within United. I don't think United wholeheartedly trusted Jose. They trusted Ollie, but Ollie was too soft to make these sort of ruthless decisions. I think Ralf Rangnick has got that power and will be that ruthless, because he knows what that club will need. And ultimately, that is the issue he's got. Kenny says, guess what? Manager Jose Mourinho, who's known for his ruthlessness, was thrown under the bus and got sacked. Indeed. Kenny, can you get rid of Barbara for me? Because that's a bot. Max says, big up Niall, how are we doing? Big up T, absolutely. But yeah, that's sort of on the canteen situation. I mean, I cannot believe I've just called that situation, but it is a situation. The next one I want to talk about is United players, and this quote made me laugh my head off. I couldn't stop laughing when I heard this quote. It says, the MUFC players are struggling to adjust to Rangnick's later training sessions and left in the dark at 5 p.m. on Tuesday. My heart bleeds for you, bitches. It really does. No, seriously, guys. Seriously. My heart bleeds for you. Never have I, or I'm sure loads of people, ever had to leave work in the middle of the night or in the dark. And never. None of us would have worked past 11 p.m. or later. None of us have ever worked a night shift. My heart bleeds for you, motherfuckers. It does. I've never had to leave work at 3 a.m. and walk half an hour to go home. My heart bleeds for you. It really does. I have a lot of empathy for you, because you must be so tired at 5 p.m. And the lack of transport you have, because I doubt it that any of you have got a car with headlights, and it's not like the street lights are not on. Again, my heart bleeds for you. That must have been a very traumatic experience for all of you. It must have been. How did you cope? You left training at 5 p.m. How did you cope? Are you okay? Do we need to set up a fund for these players to ensure that they have the ability to leave at 5 p.m? Because, again, it must be the most traumatic experience of your lives. Now, less of the sarcasm for me, that's a fucking joke. And the fact that someone believes that out, thinking that people are going to feel sorry for them, they clearly have misjudged that situation very far. People are not going to feel sorry for you having to leave work at 5 p.m. In fact, that's the normal time for almost everyone with a Monday to Friday 9 till 5 job leaves. So I don't think too many people are going to feel sorry for you. So, deal with it. So again, these players really have misjudged your situation. If they're chucking that out thinking people are going to be really sorry for us, they're going to be like, Ralf is an absolute wanker for making us leave at 5. They have misjudged this situation heavily. And I'll take you to Liverpool, actually. I swear I see Klopp doing nighttime training with the Liverpool lot. I've definitely seen pictures of the Liverpool lot training in the evening. I have. So if Liverpool can train in the evening, fuck knows why Man U can't train at 5 p.m. or leave at 5 p.m. The training was probably, 2 till 4? 2-hour session, maybe 1 till 4 if Rangnick's decided to be a cunt. So what I don't get is how they even thought putting that out there would get any sort of sympathy in the world. It really is a joke. that really is a joke. These players are professional footballers. They are professional footballers. Fred, McTominay, Maguire, Rashford, all out, not good enough, says Mustafa. Mustafa's still fuming. And Tyler's going back up north tomorrow. I hope you have fun with that. I hope you do. But let's go to some more of these quotes. And that was enough of the player quotes. I mean, a great deal of empathy for those players leaving at 5 p.m. They must have been traumatized. Dread to think what a nurse feels like. Or anyone else, who madness. But some of the other quotes. This is from Ralf Rangnick's press conference. I will open the lines up. I will let people come on and have their say about these, predominantly United fans, because it's about United. And I feel like there's going to be a level of furiousness within them. But Dean Henderson, let's talk Dean Henderson. Once talks with Rangnick after growing frustrated over his lack of playing time. He is believed to regret signing a new contract, but is unlikely to leave before the end of the summer, with Rangnick keen to have 3 senior goalkeepers. Rangnick has told Dean Henderson he cannot leave Manchester United on loan next month. He has told Henderson he wants 3 first-team ready goalkeepers in his squad, and sources have suggested the pair could end up at loggerheads over the decision. And this is, I'm sorry, all Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's fault. All of it. This is entirely on Ole. And I don't want to sit here blaming Ole for everything, because it's not all of his fault. As you can see, literally with these things. Literally, with everything happening with the players, you can see that it's not all Ole's fault, but this really was Ole's fault. It really, how he handled this situation so poorly. It was so poor from Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, this situation. So the situation is quite simple. We don't know what David De Gea and Dean Henderson were promised at the end of the month. We don't know which keeper would have started in goal on the first game of the season had Dean Henderson not have contacted COVID-19 at the start of the season. So we don't know if Ole had gone to Dean Henderson saying, "You are my number one next season. I'm trusting you. You are number one. David, we're going to either look to sell you or you're going to be sitting on the bench," which, might I add, would have been, he's the most expensive goalkeeper in the Premier League, and he would have definitely been the most expensive goalkeeper sat on the bench in the Premier League. So we don't know what was promised by either of the two. So you have to take that into consideration as well. I do understand, and I do really feel for Dean Henderson here, because he's a young lad who wants to get onto the pitch. And I feel that he had that last season, and he showed elements for me that he was good enough. Of course, you can talk about the mistakes that Dean Henderson made, mostly that Mo Salah goal. But we could, and I'm not doing this to be a dick to David De Gea, but we could look at his previous 3 years. They've hardly been a shining light on his ability. I mean, he was beaten at his near post this season by Man City. I'm not saying that's completely his fault, but he was beaten at his near post. I've seen him make multiple issues. Was it the when we came back from lockdown that he let that goal in against Spurs, where he basically let it go through his hands? I've seen him make multiple blunders. The FA Cup semi-final against Chelsea. He's not blameless in a mistake. So you cannot use, to me, Dean Henderson's mistakes, because ultimately David has made them as well. Now, the issue that I think Dean Henderson has now got is David De Gea is undroppable. David De Gea is undroppable. He's been exceptional this season. No one, not even myself, who's very good at predicting the future, saw David De Gea going to come out like this. No one saw it. No one. Right? He didn't play in the Euros for Spain. He was sat on the bench. He had an absolute howler in the Europa League final. Couldn't save a penalty. Couldn't score his own penalty. No one thought. Everyone thought David was finished after. Everyone thought he's going to leave United and all of that. Then David De Gea, has come out and he's really, really taken this season by the scruff of the neck and gone, "No, I want this. This is mine." maybe the Dean Henderson getting the number one spot towards the end of last season gave David the kick up the arse that he needed, and ultimately what it's led to is he's had the kick up the arse that he needs. And again, I feel sorry for Hendo because we don't know what was promised between him and Ollie in the summer. Was Dean Henderson going to be the number one at United this season? Would he have been the goalkeeper throughout the Ollie era, the Carrick era, and the Rangnick era? We don't know. We don't know what was promised. We don't know if Ollie would have backed that promise. He promised Lingard game time. He promised Donny van der Beek game time. He somehow promised Mata game time, which is absurd. He's promised all of these players game time, and he hasn't done it. So we don't know if Ollie would have actually kept his promise for Dean Henderson to be number one, but that was what was being spoken about, that Ollie was going to give Dean Henderson that opportunity as number one, which then would have meant, with the way Ralf has acted over the last 3 games, that Dean Henderson most likely would have been the goalkeeper. And if Michael Carrick had agreed with that decision that Ollie was making, then Michael Carrick would have kept him in, which would have guaranteed him Henderson to still be the goalkeeper right now. And then this issue would be with David De Gea and not Dean Henderson. And that situation is an even bigger situation because he's on £350,000 a week. So this situation is a shit show. And Rangnick has inherited that. He's been given this situation. Is so difficult for Ralf, and I have a lot of empathy for him because it's not an easy situation at all. Tyler says, cheers, lad, literally picking up something up in Manchester, and then the person I work with is helping someone they know in Liverpool or something. It should be fun. Henderson is a top goal, is a good enough keeper to be at a top club. If we ain't gonna play him, then he needs a good move for his sake, whether it be a loan or permanent. Yes, but Ralf, and you know what? Flip it on the other side. COVID. I don't want to talk COVID all the time, but COVID. If David De Gea gets COVID and you've loaned out Dean Henderson, that leaves you 2 goalkeepers left, one of which is Tom Heaton, the other one is Nathan Bishop. Do you really want to test that out? Because I'm sure Ralf doesn't. If David gets injured or has COVID, I bet you Ralf's thinking, I'll take Dean Henderson over Tom Heaton. Not saying Tom Heaton's bad goalkeeper, but Henderson is better, in my opinion. And it's a madness. It really is a madness. But I don't know how you fix that, really. Because Ralph's saying, if this happens and COVID, which is easily transmissible, David could easily get in and have to self-isolate. Then he's like, well, if I let Dean Henderson go, then I've only got Tom Heaton, then I have to put Nathan Bishop on the bench. And I don't know if Nathan is good enough to be a goalkeeper yet for Manchester United, which I doubt he is, considering he's not even, I don't think, actually played for the first team yet. He's probably thinking, I want Dean Henderson, because if David De Gea gets injured, I need to be able to trust that Dean Henderson can do that. And he's also probably thinking FA Cup and trying to win something at Manchester United out. It's such a difficult situation. Kenny says, if Hendo didn't have COVID, that is true. Maybe that Villarreal performance gave De Gea the kick up the ass. It most likely did. It definitely did. Matt says, sell them all. I'm fine with mid-table for a few years so we can actually get the identity of the club back. I don't think you need to actually sell them all. I think there's a proportion that needs selling, and we'll go through that, which players I would sell, because I do think you need to start selling a few because they are a joke. Rash food out. If De Gea got COVID, Hendo could do what De Gea did. Not necessarily. I don't think that Ralf will think like that. But we are going to, in fact, we'll put the link in now whilst I just quickly run through the last few, because the last few are really just talking about the situation and all of that, mainly about Cavani and your defence, which I don't think is anything that I have real interest in talking. So if anyone does want to jump on, feel free to press the link and have your say, of course. Let's just pin that in just in case and turn that down so you don't hear my voice twice. I'm feeling a lot better today than I was yesterday. Big up, Joshy. We love to see it. I can't wait for the MLS season. Yes, MLS I don't know when that's back. To be fair to you, I don't know when that's back to you. Matt's here. Big up, Matt. How are we doing?
Good. How about you?
Yeah, I'm all good. The other things that was mentioned was basically he was considering playing Cavani from the start. Then halftime happened. He needed to put Cavani in, scapegoat Mason Greenwood when Rashford did fuck all. But we'll get into that. Don't you worry about that. Then he mentioned the whole Raphael Varane hasn't played for like the last 5-6 weeks. Even before Tottenham game, he was injured. So in the last 3 months, he hasn't played any games. So basically what he's getting at there is it's fucking nonsensical to be blaming Raphael Varane. He did mention that that it was not only a problem with centre backs, it was the whole team. So he's interesting. He mentioned centre backs because he's sort of going in a bit on Harry Maguire, which would be the first time ever that has ever happened at Manchester United, because Harry Maguire is this undroppable beast apparently. Fuck knows how, but he's undroppable, because Eric Bailly would be a lot worse than Harry Maguire, a lot worse. I'm obviously being heavily sarcastic.
I think Lindelof's better than Maguire, and I'm not even joking.
I think Axel Tuanzebe and Will Fish is better than Harry Maguire, but that would be a little bit. That would be a little bit rude. Then he mentioned the whole role of the 10s in that formation, and we'll get into a formation because I don't think it's working.
No.
So, and then he basically sums up saying, I don't think it makes sense to speak about the individual performance of players. We need to get better as a team. So, Matt, let's start with some of these quotes that came out from the players. What do you make of them having to stay until 5 p.m. and drive home in the dark?
Fucking, I tweeted saying that they were all making up the NHS and shit like that, but they can't work till 5 on the wages that they're on. It's actually mad. It's actually fucking mad. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean, do you not have empathy for Harry Maguire having to switch on his headlights? Like, is that not? Are you not a little bit? Do you not feel a little bit of empathy for him having to switch on his headlights and all of that?
He had no problem trying to fucking batter policemen in the dark, but fucking training in the dark. Fuck, that's too much.
Yeah, he's clearly got some. He's got limitations, hasn't he? As Harry Maguire.
Nobody should be complaining about that at all. 5.
No, they really shouldn't. They really shouldn't.
What have they been doing for the past couple
Henderson
of years?
not better than. I've not. Well, that's the thing with Ollie. What has Ollie been making these players do? Because that would be the interesting thing for me. But it says Henderson get out. Not better than go get that through your head, you bum. That's just a little bit brutal, if you ask me. Tyler's going to let the United fans talk because that makes sense. Kenny, if you're in the comments, talk, because we're about to see who should sell. Only De Gea, Varane, Sancho, Greenwood, Ronaldo are good enough for his club. Rest can piss off. I think you can add Cavani in there. If Cavani wasn't going at the end of the season, I'd be like, give that kid. Cavani kid is not quite the not what I should have been saying. If I was you lot, I would be like, give Cavani another year. If he wasn't so desperate to fuck off, I would be like, give that lad another year.
January if he could.
He would, but I think he'll see out his contract. But what do you make of the what was the other things? Oh, yeah, the clicks and the whole the tables. They brought in booths, haven't they? So
wait, what? What is it? Sorry,
I'll read it. I'll read it out again. So basically, United in the canteen, they've upgraded their canteen. And they've put in 6 4-seater booths, and they're concerned about what that's having for clicks, like the clicks within the team, and they're concerned that is not helping it.
Well, they can't use that excuse when it's literally them eating their food.
They've had to work till 5 p.m. as an excuse. I'm sure they can use the booths as an excuse. I mean, by this level of things, I'm surprised they haven't blamed the cold weather. Although you can see in pictures, Mason Greenwood does not like training in the winter. You can just see that with the 19 layers the lad puts on. I love the lad.
That's what
I think he's absolutely brilliant. I love the lad. I think he's brilliant, but he's a little bit of a pussy in terms of that. I think Ahmad's there in shorts, and Greenwood's a little bit taller, probably not much bigger though, if you think about it. And Ahmad's there in like t-shirts and a short with an underlayer, and it's like, yeah, Ahmad's adjusting to British culture quite easily.
And Greenwood's from here.
Oh yeah, but he's from Bradford, isn't he? So it is a bit of a madness. In terms of the whole situation at United, what do you do? Because you could sell them all, but this isn't quite FIFA 22. But ultimately, some changes need to happen, don't they? And
I didn't mean them all. I didn't mean them all.
Well, yeah, of course.
I would sell. I'd actually get rid of Ronaldo because I don't see him helping at all at the minute. He's just making things worse. We were actually fine without Ronaldo, so that's a different conversation that RJ, I'm sure, will defend Ronaldo on. Sell Ronaldo. Obviously, Martial's fucking off. McTominay,
Yeah.
he can fuck off as well. Maguire can fuck off. I would need a bit more time to think who else I would sell because I don't know how much budget we have. But
Well, it's okay. I'm about to get up. If you remember, in the first United show of the season, we actually did it.
yeah, I'm sure mine's changed dramatically since then.
I'm sure it has. Kenny, if you do want to join this, the link is in the chat. We are literally about to decide what to do with these waste of spaces. I'm just loading that up now, to be fair. Delete row. Only need the 3 fucking rows. There we go. Nearly there. Obviously, we'll have to put in, because a few of these are already on loan. Joshy, the American. Yeah. Joshua, the football fan of America. Well, Kenny, why don't you come on and defend Rashford then? Rashford is washed.
If Rashford continues the way he is, I'd say he should fuck off as well.
Yeah, Rashford is washed, not good enough for his club. Can't even do the simple basics. Premier League, more like gambling league. I really don't understand that, but yeah. Hold on, let me get my get on my PC now. It's okay. We're not gonna have completed it, but you don't need to say the full name. I know Joshy, but I thought it was quite funny. It's me, Joshy the American. Love it. Look at sponsorships, you understand. Well, yeah, but I think in the Premier League, firstly, I'm used to it by now. And if you're not, then, well, yeah. But this is the one. So who's already on loan? So Brandon's already on loan, as is Chong, as is James. Dan James is already sold. Just quickly scrolling through them. Pereira's on loan. So is Palestri. He's already on loan, isn't he?
Yeah.
And the rest are still. Oh no, Axel's on loan as well. Right. So you got all of these, and we're gonna work out. And Herbert's just arrived as well. Big up, Herbert. How are we doing, mate?
Yeah, not too bad. Just want to watch the next United game. Obviously, very frustrating last time. But I've seen you doing some kind of a tier list.
Yeah, no, I hear that. It's a money scam. Let your players rest on Christmas during the pandemic. No, I'm all right, thanks. We always do this over Christmas, and I'll just put it very simply. If you don't like it, you can jog on, really. But we've actually got a few United fans here. It's actually lovely at the moment. Sell Johnny because he's not getting game time, is he? Well, I'm sure the boys will discuss that. So what we're going to do is we're going to go through them, and you're going to say if you want to keep them, loan them, or sell them. Now, we did this at the start of the season, but I feel it's important that we do it again because, to be completely honest, I think it's probably changed quite a lot.
Mm-hmm.
So, Before we do that, though, Herbert, what's your thoughts of everything that's happening at United at the moment?
I think I feared this actually because I felt the players were very in form of their own comfortable bubble under the previous manager, and all of a sudden there's a change in attitude, change in behavior, and some of them are not really finding it agreeable. So there are lots of leaks, as you must be aware, like people not wanting to train in the dark, and the canteen thing and all those. Even though Louis Van Gaal 6 or 7 years ago he already made that change, like he switched that no one should be sitting alone, that should be a round table and all those kinds of things. So I mean, look, I think there will be some kind of revolt in the dressing room. The players who have been shit, someone like a Harry Maguire, he should not even be the captain of United, but he would be calling the shots just because he's the captain. And
Well,
it's just
apparently he's less assured of himself since Cristiano Ronaldo came in, which I can understand. If you've got the footballing ability of Harry Maguire and you're captain, and Cristiano Ronaldo's just walked into a building, I can imagine why you're feeling a little bit apprehensive.
Of course, man. I mean, he has more Champions League than Maguire's relegations. So, I mean, if I'm Ronaldo, I'm not listening anything to what Harry says. Let's be honest.
Yeah, no, I hear that. Kenny, what's your thoughts of what's going on at United?
Well, to be honest, the players have way too much power right now. They put Mourinho under the bus, they put all under the bus. Like, some of these players are fucking disgraceful.
Someone's listening to a weekend interview with me.
Joshy says, fun fact, as a kid I had a FC Barcelona shirt. No one in my family knew what European soccer was. My mum just liked the colours on the FC Barcelona logo. I mean, that makes complete sense. Yes, Kenny. Big up, Kenny. Maguire is different class. He is different gravy, that's for sure. He's like, so, on your Christmas dinner, if you had a Christmas dinner, you probably have Bisto. That's the elite gravy. That's the creme de la creme of gravy. That's probably someone like a Cavani. Harry Maguire is the Tesco Basics gravy that tastes like shit. So on my turkey, I bought lovely turkey Bisto gravy. Harry Maguire is the basic meat granules that you get from Tesco's. That's disgusting, by the way. Like not even Aldi, because Aldi's probably your Fred and McTominay. They're not horrific. It's not great though. But let's go through this. Eric Bailly. What would you do with Eric Bailly? This isn't what you think will happen. It's what you want to happen. So if you want Eric Bailly to be punched in the face multiple times by Harry Maguire, then I mean that's not really one of them. But yeah. CFC, you couldn't fight me even if you tried because I would knock you out with one punch. So run away, little baby. But yeah, what are you all doing with Eric Bailly?
Okay.
Kenny, Herbert, what are you doing with Bailly?
Yeah, keep. I mean, I don't know who's going to buy him because of his injury record. Probably we're not going to get much. But anytime he plays, he's quite good. Actually, unfortunately, he can't play more than 3 games. So 3 games in a row. But I'll keep him.
Yeah, Kenny.
It's difficult because of that injury record. It must be really the point of him play a few games. So I mean, if we could get money for him, then I'd say sell. But this is mixed.
Right. So you're going to keep him. I want to give everyone on that team a high five. Why not? I'm not sure I'm not sure you should on everyone. Ahmad, I'm guessing are you keeping Ahmad or are you loaning him out?
I think I will loan him.
Yeah, loan, definitely.
Okay. Aaron Wan-Bissaka.
Sell. Get him out.
Herbert?
Look, it's difficult with Wan-Bissaka because if I was there, I will sell him because when I'm looking at top right backs like Cancelo is one of my favorite players and he does not even play for United. I just want someone of that mold who is very good on the ball. technically sound, and Wan-Bissaka is not that. But obviously, the system favors Cancelo. Yeah.
Okay. Bruno. I'm guessing you're keeping Bruno.
But yeah, as long
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that does make the most sense. Cavani.
I'd keep him.
I did. You keep Cavani, Herbert.
No, I'll sell him. He does not want to be here. What's the point of keeping him? Rangnick has already told if you don't want to play here, you don't like. We're not going to, plead you. So I'll sell him.
See, I would keep him because I do think he's got a lot to offer. I do think
he's on 200
he
by the way.
does.
He's on 200 grand a week, and he does not play
I
games
know.
in a row.
I know, but with the players you've got at the moment, and the fact that you've got quite young attackers who are clearly crying out for someone to mentor them, Cavani does at least do that.
Yeah, at the moment definitely, but not in the summer. I'm talking about the summer.
Oh yeah, but we're talking. Yeah, but we're talking just more generally. So I'll keep Cavani around. I think he's really helpful. This is the first interesting one. Diego Dallo. What are you all thinking with Diego?
Keep him, because if we sell in Wan-Bissaka, then we need some depth in the right back position. So that's why I keep Dallo, and he's also not that bad as a right back. So
yeah, agreed. He just needs a run of games, man. We already seen how good he is with the ball. So he needs a run.
Yeah. Eric says Kieran McKenna top man. Bias aside, I would say keep. If that's on Cavani, that's very sensible. David De Gea?
keep.
Yeah, keep.
Anthony Elanga?
Loan for me.
I think loan.
I agree. Fred?
Ooh, Fred.
You need depth in your midfield, don't you? So I would strengthen that midfield without losing any of them. So I would say the same with McTominay as well. I would strengthen the midfield without losing anyone, because you scream out for midfield depth. You've not got any, because you've got Matic and Mata, for fuck's sake. That's the issue United have got, isn't it? So I'd keep Fred, because depth is key, and rotation is king. Greenwood, I'm presuming you keep Greenwood, clearly.
Yeah, keep.
And Ragnick wants to sell him.
Probably. He keeps scapegoating Greenwood, so it wouldn't surprise me. Hannibal.
Hello.
Loan.
Yellow.
Premier League loan, more specifically.
Tom Heaton.
What an amazing player. You just keep the vibes,
Well, yeah, just keep him around for depth and third, and all of this. After this loan, I'd keep Garner. Yeah, but that's not the question. He's already out on loan, so it's not that we decided to loan out Garner. He's already on loan. That's why he's there. Dean Henderson. This is an interesting one. You've kept De Gea. You've kept Heaton. Would you loan him, sell him, or keep him?
I definitely want to sell him.
I think we have to sell him, because I don't think he's ever going to be first choice till De Gea is around. And he's on 120 as well. So there's no point.
De Gea's not going.
Loaning
De
him.
Gea's not sticking around forever, and he's got a contract until what, 2025? Just signed a new contract, didn't he? So
you can't be paying Dean Henderson's wages till then, right?
no, but if you have him on loan, I'm sure someone will pay a chunk of it. Maybe not all of it, because not many people go pay for 140.
Eventually you'll want to sell Dean. I think eventually you'll have to sell him. But at the moment, definitely.
It depends on how. Do you think De Gea is going to stick around for the next 5 years?
He's on 350. I don't think anyone else is going to offer him that kind of wages. So.
Well, yeah, but I'll rephrase the question. Do you think his standards are going to be this good for the next 5 years?
He's just 30, right? It's not like, he's not in his late 30s. He's in early 30s. So.
True, but you normally see them digress at around about the age of 35, 36.
Yeah, I think till 35, I'll keep him. It's not an issue. Isn't Manuel Neuer 36, 37?
Yeah, true. There is no other content tonight. It's just this one because Hendo's only on 100k a week. Okay. Yeah, it's just this one tonight because I'm enjoying my Football Manager, and to be fair, Chelsea Brighton, it just doesn't excite me. But we'll have watch on tomorrow, and I might have another sort of show like this, not this one, but something similar because I've got some things to do during the day. But Kenny Henderson, keep him, loan him, sell him.
I definitely want to sell him.
So
I'd say loan. Yeah,
I'd agree with that. I think a loan at a good club
with a buy option. I think loan with a buy option at Ajax.
Possibly.
Someone like Ajax.
Possibly, I would loan him out to a top team, see what he does, because it's also well him doing it at Sheffield United, but I would look at
Dortmund.
Tottenham want a goalie actually. Tottenham.
I would look at Ajax. I'd look at maybe Spurs. I'd look at, but you're strengthening your rivals there, by the way. But I'd look at Ajax. I'd look at Inter. I'd look at all the foreign clubs. For me, you dislike watching City. It's just too easy for them. And who are they playing today? What, Brentford? I'm probably watch that one. But who are they playing?
Brentford away.
Oh, yeah, I mean, that's just a walk in the park for them. Phil Jones.
He should not be in the
League One.
list anyways.
Yeah, it's okay. I've put him in the sell category of League One.
Sell.
Victor Lindelof. What did you do with keep Victor?
Keep.
Yeah. Okay, Jesse.
Sell.
I'd sell him.
Okay, Luke Shaw.
Ooh. Actually, we've got Brandon Williams next year, haven't we? Alex Tellers as well.
Yeah.
Oh, I'd actually, if he keeps up these performances, and we're just saying generally right now, I'd say sell.
Okay, Herbert.
Problem is, who is going to buy him? It's easy to say sell, but I don't think anyone's.
Well,
going to buy
you
him
don't
after
have to worry. You don't have to worry about that. It's not that realistic.
I'll keep him. I don't think we have any other options.
I would sell him. He's given you one good season in the last 8 or 7. I know he obviously broke his leg, but Yeah. I know. Obviously, he broke his leg in that, but he's given you one exceptional season in the last 7. I mean, that sort of level for Manchester United is unheard of because Fergie wouldn't have let that shit happen. I mean, he would have been like, you're either working or you're not. Okay, you're not working. Goodbye. Slabhead, Maguire.
No. Keep him Lindelof. Keep him by sell Maguire, in my opinion.
Yeah, I'd sell him as well. I think he's useless. Anthony Martial.
He wants to go. I think you have to sell him now.
Yeah, Kenny.
Sell. Easy.
Juan Mata. We'll just do that. Matic.
I'd sell him. If you keep him McFred as well, I'd definitely sell him. That's all it is.
You keep him McTominay.
Yeah.
Nope.
As a squad player, I think McTominay could be.
Yeah, I agree with Kenny on that one. I said this at the start. I would keep McFred purely for the fact that I want to add to that midfield without losing anyone because you haven't got any squad depth there. So I feel you need to keep them for a bit of squad depth. And McTominay as a squad player, he ain't that bad as a squad player, is he?
If you don't want to start Fred, you don't want to start McTominay. Donny wants to go, Pogba wants to go, so you will have to buy at least 3 midfielders. So
yeah, that's what I'm on. Well, you got Donny, but that's exactly Herbert. You've just hit the nail slap on the head there, mate. You're right. I would buy two new midfielders or 3. You're absolutely right. I would buy 2 brand new midfielders, and then McFred become depth. That you've literally hit the nail slap bang on the head. Because I'm thinking you don't really need to improve any other places apart from that and potentially right back. Maybe a striker in the summer. So you're right. I would buy two or three new central midfielders, 100%. Although you've got the money, you have got the money. Sell Sancho, sell Tellers. I mean, that's just ridiculous. Pogba.
And Mr. Hypothetical man. Win the Champions League. What if I win the Champions League? You're selling. You're so disrespectful. 5 good games.
Herbert, do you agree? Sell Pogba.
I think if you sell Pogba, you are losing a lot of creativity, and you are not going to get the talent of him in the market. So I'll keep him. I don't think you're going to. Who in the market, honestly, you think you can replace Paul Pogba with? I don't think so. You have.
Bellingham.
Bellingham is not really a creative midfielder. He's more of a box to box, and I think honestly, if you give Donny a chance, he could be our Bellingham, but Donny never plays.
Are you concerned that if you keep Pogba, it's just going to be more of this same shit that you've had for the last few years?
Yeah, his agent is a problem. I agree with that. I mean, but I'll keep him just purely because of what he offers on the field when he's playing, when he's on it.
Well, yeah, but that's when he's on it. He gives us 5 good games a year.
But when he's on it, he's never on it without a defensive midfielder. When he signed a defensive midfielder.
Yeah, but he's out of contract in the summer, and he wants to be paid more than Ronaldo.
He wants to be paid 600.
He wants around 400. Yeah, 400.
For me, 400k is not worth it. I would let that man walk. Just like what I would do is I'd be like, look, the Pogba experiment did not work. Let's not do that again. It's clearly not worth. I wouldn't look to move on because I feel United need a complete reset, and as you can see, you're certainly getting it. Rashford.
I think I know he's been really poor recently, but I think he will get better with time again, and we've seen what can happen with Rashford. It's not just another Pogba thing because Rashford, we've shown he's been consistent for multiple seasons before. I think we'll start seeing the real Rashford again. Maybe not soon. We'll see it like February, Marchish. Yeah, I would keep him because you can't just sell because of a bad one of form, even if that bad one of form is really poor. You can't just sell them based on.
That's fair. Herbert, Rashford.
I think I'll keep him, but again, keep him as a squad player. The only reason he's starting is because he's Manc, he's British, he's marketable, and he wears the number 10. Otherwise, I don't think he should be starting. He's been very, very poor this season.
Fair point. Sancho?
Scamcho, I'm joking.
Keep Sancho, of course. Shola Shotire. Loan for Shola. Tell us.
Keep, definitely. I don't know why people are just turning on after one game. But this is
Varane, I'm guessing you're keeping Varane.
I'm guessing you're keeping
Donny. I haven't got Ronaldo here because we did this at the start and we didn't know Ronaldo was coming. So next season you'd have what? You'd have 2 goalkeepers. So that's not the worst. You'd have 1 right back. So you're definitely in for a right back in the summer. You'd have 1, 2, 3 centre backs. So you need to go buy a centre back in the summer as well. You'll have 1 left back, Brandon Williams, 2 left backs. We're possible a bit of cover on the right hand side as well. Central midfield, you'd have McShite. So you definitely need to go get yourself 2 brand new midfielders. You've even got Donny and Bruno as well. So you definitely want 1 or 2, 3 midfielders a minimum. Cavani won't be there. Next season. So what I would do is I would bring in Ahmad for next season. Right? I think he can produce the quality now. So I'll bring in Ahmed next season. But I would also bring in, well, you got Ronaldo. So striker options, you've got Greenwood, Ronaldo. So you'll want another striker in the summer. Left side cover, you've got Rashford and Rashford. So you're going to want to get another left winger, which is unfortunate. On the right, you're stacked. You've got Sancho, Ahmad as backup. I think that's a good enough there. So yeah, I mean, looking at that team, apart from obviously the one centre back, two central midfielders, and a right back, what do you feel they represent United a bit more than the current squad? Because as you can see here, there's far too many players for a squad. I mean, you've gutted half of it. You've literally gutted almost half the squad. I mean,
when you put Twanzebe there for the other centre back,
he's at the end of contract, mate. He's gone. He's never coming back.
Oh, I think that's quite good, to be honest.
Yeah.
Very good, very good.
What about you, Herbert? Do you feel this represents United a bit better?
Yeah, definitely. Not just because of the ability, but the kind of characters we need. I mean, we need somewhere in some games we will need McFred. Not in the starter, but when we have to fight it out against Burnley and them, man. But I'm just looking at the sell list we have just made, and I'm looking at the the money we are saving here. Just look at that. Like Lingard is on 100, Luke Shaw 250, Harry Maguire 200, Martial 250, Mata 150, Pogba 280, Matic, I think he will be on 100, 120, and Cavani 200. That's a lot of money we are wasting, man.
Yeah, I mean, you are going to need 4 or 5 players, but you can go get yourself 4 or 5 players with the wages you've just saved. I mean, if you add it all up, as I say, you'll need a right back. Brandon can deputise at left back with Telles. You'll need a centre back, but I feel like your pairing next year could be Lindelof, Varane, or Bailly Varane. I think Varane goes in there regardless. I think the other one's up for debate. So I look at all of that and I'm like, I do believe that United team represents United a lot more than the ones now. And Mustafa says, sell Rashford. Why keep Rashford? Because you are going to need left wingers. You can't just get rid of them all. And with Martial wanting to leave, although I would keep Martial, but I don't think he wants to stay. I think it's a tough one. It's a tough one. Mustafa really is raging, by the way. Why keep Rashford, keep Martial? Look, I've no issue. Would any of you keep Martial if he agreed to stay? Would any of you keep Martial? Because I still think there's a place for him in this team.
I'll definitely keep him.
Yeah, whether that be on the left or whether that be on as a striker. And you need striker options, don't you? Because your striker options are bare. I mean, let's make it a little bit more there. And don't forget, Ronaldo's gone at the end of there. So, Martial could play in that front two. He could play on the left wing. I still believe there's a space for Martial in this team. And I feel uneasy United just letting him go and not trying to convince him, going, Ollie's not here anymore. You're not going to be abused by Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's dead tactics. We're going to use you. There is a place in this team for you. Kenny, you're sort of a little bit unsure. I know that much. Why not keep Martial? Why not keep him?
It depends. It depends on whether he can return to not his form in NHS, but because that's too good. But if he can return to just a decent form, if he can return to more than 4 goals a year, and if he can do that, if he can get what would you say, like 8, 10 goals a year, would you say that's fair? I think
United's problem has always been sharing the goals around. It's always been your problem. I feel if you can get 10 to 15 goals out of Martial, 10 to 15 goals out of Greenwood, 10 to 15 goals out of Sancho, 10 to 15 out of Rashford, you've got 60 goals there. That's not a bad return. Don't forget Bruno's going to chuck in the odd few, as is Ronaldo. So I look at this team and I'm like, it's a much more respectable team, and it represents the values of United. And you'll see that I just chucked in James Garner there, because Garner, this is looking at next season. This is looking at what it's going to be next season. I feel Garner will make an important part of your midfield next season. So that's a third one. So you only really need one more central midfielder, maybe two, depending on how you deem of James Garner. But I look at that team and I feel like it represents United a lot more. And, you know, I just feel uneasy just chucking them all out. But look, we are going to wrap it up there. I'll be back tomorrow with the watch on for United Burnley at Old Trafford. Haven't seen Old Trafford back. They haven't been back, have they, since Rangnick took over? So it'll be really interesting to see how they do over there. And what goes on there. So we'll be back tomorrow. We might have another one of these, but I've got to go do some stuff in town or city centre before that. So I can't promise that there will be. And then Friday, I'm thinking of doing an end of year awards, because there's no club shows this week, because we're not doing shows on Christmas Eve. I'm not about to go get the United boys to gather around at 9 p.m. on New Year's Eve. I mean, oh yes, what a great idea. So I'm thinking 6 p.m. I'm going to see who I can find, 6, 7 p.m. Going to find some people who will be up for coming on an end of year awards, which I think would be quite an interesting one. And quite a bit of fun as well. So make sure you check that out as well. But before you go, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button as well. Make sure you turn on notifications. Check out our socials: Twitter, Let's Talk EPL, Instagram, Let's Talk EPL _, and on TikTok, Let's Talk Premier League. All links are in the description below to our Discord and to all of our social medias, and to mine as well. Kenny, where can they find you?
Find me at Kenny Beachton on Twitter. You have to request the account, it is private. Kenny United fan on Twitch and Kenny TV on YouTube.
Perfect. But until next time, guys, thanks for watching and peace out.